our theme for the year of 2025 is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. Our theme for January is Stretching into Possibility. And the title of our talk today is Making Space for It. And it will be given by our wonderful Reverend Charlene. We're so glad that you took some time out of your day to join us. If you have any prayer requests or celebrations that you would like us to include later in our service when we do our affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment, put that in the chat, any prayer concerns, celebrations, and Charlene will be sure to include that when she has our prayer time after our message today. All right, that's all I have to say to officially welcome you, but you can sit back, relax, and enjoy our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. And so it is. So now is the time for our meditation. We have a new year, 2025. I'm still trying to get used to writing that. And as we kick things off, we had Melinda last Sunday, but since this is my first Sunday doing a meditation, I was thinking about our theme for the day, which is making space for it. And I was thinking also about our visioning workshop. So as we begin to ease into the new year, let's kind of use this meditation to set our intentions for the year. Make space for the divine in this new year. So as we always begin, just relax, settle down, sink into your chair maybe a little deeper. Relax your shoulders, your neck, where we usually carry some tension or stress if you have any. Maybe wiggle or stretch your toes, your fingers. And let's begin by taking a few deep breaths. Are you ready? Breathe in. And hold. And release. Let's do that again. Breathe in through your nose. And hold. Breathe out through your mouth. And release. Hmm. So just try to clear your mind of anything that you're thinking about right now. Try to empty it out. Meditation is when we put our mind on pause. Just like an engine can't run constantly, it has to shut down, it has to turn off. Just like our computers and electronics have to have some rest time. So does our brain, our mind. So just take that to do list, take any thoughts that are intruding, and just try to clear your mind. Maybe you're using that beautiful image of the lake that looks crystal clear or the beautiful blue sky, but try just to clear your mind. And as we invite the divine in and we think about the year ahead of us, a brand new start in January, let's begin by taking our thoughts to just one day. What would you like the ideal day in 2025 to look like? Who would you like to see? What would you like to accomplish? How would you like to begin your day? What would you be doing in the middle of the day? What's the weather like? What's the season like on this ideal day? And as you move through this ideal day, it will eventually come to an end. So, how is that ideal day ending? Who's joining you for supper? What are you eating? Are you inside? Is there a roaring fireplace? Are you outside? What's the night sky look like on this ideal day in 2025? Now, let's take it and just expand that idea a little bit. And let's pick a month. Let's pick a month in 2025. What's your ideal month? What does your ideal month look like in 2025? What's the season? Who are you spending that month with as you move through each day on that calendar? What are you accomplishing during that month? I've got a month in mind. I hope you do. How good does that feel? Knowing that this is just the ideal month. Everything is working as it should. Everything is just fitting into place just exactly as you want it to. Everything is possible and everything is happening just with the perfect timing and just the way that is best for you. And then let's just take it one step further. Let's go to the ideal year. So we're at the start of 2025, and I know there's a lot of anxious feelings about this year. And there's a lot of reasons, but let's just try to imagine. Why not, right? We are creators in our lives, co creators with the divine. Let's just try to conjure up, manifest the ideal year. What are some things that you can imagine that you see happening in your life, in your community, in your workplace, in your state, in your country, and in the world. How does 2025 end as we reach December? What is your state of being? What is the ideal state for our country? What is the ideal state for the world? So we know that there's power in our consciousness. We know that when enough people are focused on something, we can make changes. So that's our meditation as we kick off 2025. Join me by opening your eyes, maybe moving your head from side to side, wiggling your toes. And as you come back from meditation, enjoy this wonderful music. Use Me. I think you know this one. It's a good one.
Oh God, I stand for you and abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God is the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all and all, leading us to shine its light as me, as you. So you use me. Oh God, I stand for you and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. All that I want you to do is command my hands. What must they do? Command my life. It's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. And God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. use me. Oh God, I stand before you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Well, wow, that was amazing. Cheryl Renee, she is one of our really strong powerhouses. That was her singing at Mile High Church, which is one of our biggest centers. That's where I got my ministerial license from. Yay. All right, so good morning and welcome. And thank you, Tamara, for taking us through what we want to make space for in 2025. Because that's the title of the talk today, Making Space for It. I love this. I remember back, had to be 30 years ago because Blake was not here yet. Blake is my offspring. I remember being in one of these centers for spiritual living classrooms, and what they told us at the beginning of the year, they said, Shar, I'm in a class, so of course they could talk right to me. What is it that you want? And I was like, I want a partner. And they said, how many nightstands do you have? One. And they were like, I'm going to need you to fix that. Now, do you see why they asked me, how many nightstands do you have? Was I making space for another to join me in my life? Did I make space? This is what we're talking about in 2025. I know that the new year is just another new moment, and we have a new moment every moment. But there's something about flipping the calendar into the trash can and putting up a new one. There's something about the gateway of a new year that is a universal need to sort of get us to reflect. In fact, that month January is named after the Greek god Janus, where one head is turned to the back and then there's another one turned to the front. It's looking at the old while looking at the new. What is it that you want in your life? And I have to say, is it going to happen? Did you make space for it? And I'm not just talking about physical space. We know that there's something bigger going on than what we can see. We know that Ernest Holmes talked about the thing itself. He called it. It's a whole book. The thing itself. What thing are we talking about? The thing, here's what he said. The thing then works for us by working through us and is us always. It cannot work for us in any other way. It spreads itself all over the whole universe and shouts at us from every angle, but it can become power to us only when we recognize it as power. The thing itself is power. Therefore, he says, he continues, our belief sets the limit to our demonstration of a principle, which in and of itself doesn't have a limit. It's already there, ready to fill everything up because it's infinite, it's everywhere, it's already ready, it's got the possibilities. That's me riffing. Let me get back to his words. So it is not a question of its willingness, nor of its ability to do it. Not the question. Wrong question. It's an entirely a question of our own receptivity. And I imagine that he stood there and just dropped the mic on the stage and walked off, because what else is he going to say? He done said it all. Here's the thing. The power's everywhere. It's everywhere present. It is what the universe is made of. And so it's not a matter of, well, there's not enough. Oh, it's everywhere. Oh, it probably can't get me this thing I want. Oh, it can do everything. So, what's the real problem? We didn't make space for it. Maybe it means letting go of limiting beliefs that keep us thinking small. Even to the degree that they say sometimes we don't get success because we're holding it from ourselves because we have a fear of success. And many people will balk at that. Oh, no, no, give me success. Don't threaten me with a good time. But the thing is, some of us are unconsciously self destructive, unconsciously choosing the thing that works opposite to our best interest. And we just do it because, oh, my favorite reason is because, oh, there's an agreement to be mediocre. There's an agreement with my friend group. If I go and be too awesome, then I won't have any friends. I say upgrade your friends. Now, if it's true that there's universal possibilities everywhere, then how do we go about getting what we want? Sure, make room for it. Is there anything else, you might ask yourself? Well, we know that the universe works through us. And if we cannot conceive it in our lives, then we cannot have it. This is the truth. Have you ever seen the stories about people who won the lottery? People who played the lottery, won the $1 million or $100 million, and within a certain amount of time, they are more broke than they were when they first started playing the lottery. In fact, they are worse off because they won the money and then lost the money. So what's the problem? It really wasn't the money itself, was it? It was the consciousness of having wealth and behaving properly with the wealth that attracts the wealth and keeps the wealth to you. A lot of people can get something out of pure, I don't know, clench all of your muscles all at once and clench hard and hold on, and maybe you can get something to temporarily appear. But unless you keep clenching, it's going to go away. That's not your rightful thing. It's not rightfully yours by consciousness. So let me unpack what I mean by it's not rightfully yours by consciousness. Some of you might be like, wait, what? So here's the thing. The universe is all about least effort. It's one of those things where wherever you put your attention, that's where your energy goes. And so some people say that our attention to certain things that we do want creates a magnetizing field. And then what is most likely to happen is that, like circumstances, things just like what you are inside start to show up outside. So if you start to, hold in your heart, in your mind, and in all your being, not in a clenchy way, but sort of a higher vision for your life, and really believe it and get into the emotional field of already having it, then the universe, it's harder for the universe to just keep that from you because you're already sort of vibing at that level, and it's easy. Remember, the universe follows the source of least, or the path of least resistance. This is physics. And you're already creating that field inside you. Guess what? You'll start to notice opportunities. You'll start to attract to yourself situations that match that energy. It's not a mistake. This is actually just how you create things. Now, over the weekend, last weekend, I had over visiting me my son's dad, which, by the way, remember, 30 years ago, I'm like, I want a relationship. So I made room for it. It showed up just long enough to get a baby here. And then because of consciousness, because by right of consciousness, that wasn't a long-term solution, but it was long-term enough, it was short-term enough to get this beautiful being here. So Blake's dad comes to visit, and he comes over, and he's also a minister with a different tradition, and he teaches a lot of the Chinese medicine things. And I'm just checking in with him. So what have you learned lately? And we're comparing notes. And so he says something, and at first I giggled. So he goes, well, science is just catching up with the stuff we already know. And I said, it is, isn't it? And he goes something like, yeah, because they found the God particle. And I was like, okay, all right, are we now going to go into some weird, the God particle? And then I realized, oh, he's talking about the Higgs boson. Now, I'm also going to point out he's very esoteric, not very specific, not as booky as I am. That was part of the conflict. I'm like, is this the word you mean to say? Like, what are we doing? It was too much for me long term. But I was like, oh, I think you're talking about the Higgs boson. He goes, yeah, that's it, the God particle. And I'm like, why is he calling it the God particle? So I just listened and nodded and listened and nodded. And then immediately, because Blake and I had just visited CERN in Switzerland, we were at the Large Hadron Collider, which is this multi-mile circular tube, magnetic tube down in the earth. And what they do is they accelerate particles so they can repeat what happened in the Big Bang, because scientists, physicists, they want to know. They want to know exactly what causes things. So Higgs is a person, he's a scientist, a physicist, who said theoretically there should be a particle. And the particle exists everywhere. And if this particle can be proven that it's there, it will be the thing that gives weight, gives mass. It's the difference between potential and actuality. It is the only reason any of us are here. Every single molecule, every single subatomic particle starts out with it just an idea, and then it attaches to the Higgs, which gives it weight and mass and some gravity. It's what holds us together, literally. So they're looking around. Mathematically, the darn boson should be there. Couldn't find it. They're throwing particles, accelerating them at the speed of light, smashing them against each other, and then looking for debris really fast before it dies. And they're doing this at scale. It's an amazing, if you ever get to go to Switzerland, to CERN, it's kind of neat to see it. And they show you all the computers, and then they're like, and in 2012, we found the Higgs boson, which makes all of this stuff worth it, because people were like, do we really need a particle accelerator? Are we going to create a black hole and we're all going to get sucked into it? There was a lot of fear, but the scientists just tried it on. So they found the Higgs boson. Now, and so I go back after having the discussion with Blake's dad. I was like, why is he calling it the God particle? So I looked it up. Sure enough, they call it the God particle because Higgs actually said, we got to find the goddamn particle. And they were like, we can't call it that. There's children in the room. So they called it the God particle. But then Higgs continues to say, but I mean, it kind of is. Without this particle, none of this would exist. So I guess it kind of is the God particle. I mean, shortening my long curse word to just God, it's not wrong. It's not the God particle. And now I see. So this God particle thing found in 2012, it is exactly what all of the ancients, all of our historical mystery traditions have all already known. The ingredients for the life you want are all around you. They're all around you. Now, what makes something materialize? Well, turns out, now this is where he's talking and I'm like, yeah, no, probably not that. But okay, fine, I'll let it happen. He's like, so the Chinese medicine, what they do is when the acupuncture, there's different, your liver has a certain color and your heart has a certain color. So the acupuncturists not only find a point on your body, but they also channel the chi from a certain color into that organ. And because the color interacts with the Higgs boson, I'm like, nope, you lost me. But how do I know that the color doesn't interact? Dude, do I know how it works? Nobody knows how it works. But the fact that they've now got a little more technology to support the fact, now I will go with this, my conscious awareness on what I want is enough to take this potential, like a wave, and turn it into an actual thing, like a particle. And because my attention is focused on something high, like a healthy liver, sure, green, it doesn't hurt to give it a color. But I'm pretty sure the Higgs boson doesn't care about what's green and what's red. I'm sure that it's like, what are we doing? Okay, we're doing that. Let's go. Now, without all that science stuff, I'll set it aside because that's the fun. That geeks me out. I mean, let me just put on my geek glasses and go deep. But I also just like to look without any of that Higgs boson God particle stuff. Give me some quotes. Now with that information, let's go to one of Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, page 52. Here we go. There is no doubt about the immutability and availability of the law. The law is infinite. It is right where we happen to be at any given time. It occupies all space and fills every form with differentiations of itself. The law also flows through us because it flows through everything. And since we exist, it must be in and through us because it flows in and through us. This is the crux of the whole matter. Infinite and immutable as the law is, ever present and available as it must be, the potential possibility of all human probability, it must flow through us in order to manifest for us. So it's already in us. Now the question is, how big are your ideas? How big is your vision? How big is your dream? Because all of the ingredients are already flowing through us. And it does not require for you to know that this law is at work. We use this law every time we plant. We always talk about the seed. I plant a seed in the soil, and the same law works on every single seed, given the right conditions. Soil, water, sunlight, enough time, sure. Every seed has within it the end result encoded. And then the law says, okay, it doesn't really say, really, onions. Nope, not doing onions. Just like gravity, it's a law. When I jump up, I land. That's how that works. It's not like, oh, it's Charlene, don't let her land. It's going to be different this time. No, it's a law. It works. It's everywhere, working all at the same time. Now, as I mentioned, you don't have to know that the law is working to use it. Many of us are using it every day, even if we don't know it. How are we using it? What we're thinking about, what we're focusing on. We're entraining the law to give us what we're interested in. I've said this 100 times. I have to keep saying it because then I can actually remember. So we've got this law that we're using, and sometimes we're using it poorly. And so when we teach classes, Tamara and I always giggle when we're like, write down all the things that you want, write down all the things that you don't want that are happening right now. Good news. The things you don't want that are happening right now, you did it. You created that. There's also some other good news. You can change it. And some people say, well, isn't that bad news? If I created it myself. No, there's no good or bad. There's just life. Good or bad it's a bit of a judgment, and that can even change over time. So we don't judge ourselves. It is what it is. We are where we are, and it's great to take heed of everything around you. And now start plucking what you don't want. Get rid of the weeds from the soil. They'll suck the life out of what you do want. So do you want to manifest peace and joy, but you just can't help having something on TV where everybody's fighting? Maybe turn that off. Do you want to manifest wealth and health and wholeness, but you keep doom scrolling and being interested in all the opposites of that, just as a voyeur? So we could start pruning our environment, plucking weeds where they don't support what it is we do want, and then expand our consciousness and focus on things that we do want. Now, whenever we teach these classes at the beginnings of people's spiritual path, people say, all right, great, I'm going to write some affirmations. They write affirmations. And then they realize, oh no, I just had a negative thought. Thoughts are creative. Thoughts create things. I just had a negative thought. Oh my gosh, there's another one. And they get scared that because they're thinking about something negative that it's going to happen right away. And we're like, nope, good news. Your trained thoughts, whatever you train your mind to think on, there's some entrainment. Whatever you think most of the time, that's what starts to create in your life. So just because you had, and any mom who's let their children drive out of the house with their car, you've had that thought, oh my God, please don't wrap yourself around a pole, please don't. And then you're like, why am I rehearsing that? And then you catch yourself, cancel, cancel, cancel thought. May you go in peace. May God watch over you. You start to change the way you talk. You start to change what you listen to. One errant thought is not going to get in the way. But to be really powerful, and knowing that we are at the seat, we're at the driver's seat of our life, we're co-creating with the universe. We can have anything we desire. Well, then it becomes about, well, let me see, what's on the menu? Huh. What would I like? Because the universe is like a waiter. Like, oh, ma'am, are you ready to order? I am. For starters, I'll have, and this is what Tamara was taking us through. She's taking us through what is your ideal day? What is your ideal month? Can you envision the people around you? What do you want to feel like? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? How do you want to show up in this world? And then at 1 o'clock today, we're going to create little movies. If you want to come and hang out, and this is not meant to be a little advertising. It's a free workshop, so just come. And I'll show you how to use free tools to create either a vision board, which has little snapshots of how you want to be in 2025. You should put that somewhere where you could see it every day. You're entraining your subconscious. You're trying to up level your energy and your frequency so that that is naturally how you see yourself, and it'll naturally outpicture. And there's another way to do it with a movie where you just take little videos. I'll show you how to find little, 5, 10, 15-second videos that you can string them together and put affirmations underneath it. And the idea is to watch it every morning and watch it every night. So when we wake up in the morning, and make sure it has good music behind it, something uplifting. Watch it in the morning, and this is your life, moving you through it. Watch it in the afternoon or the evening. If you start your day and end your day with this video, then aren't you reprogramming yourself to start to expect these wonderful things and be grateful for these wonderful things and just get into it like it's already here? Which, again, the universe will say, okay, yes. And so it is. Okay, you got it. It's coming right up. Would you like a starter? Like, literally, whatever you would desire. And I mean, I don't see a downside. I'm hoping that you and I are just as on fire about these experiences, ready to experience all of the new things. And you know what's even nicer is when, I'm sorry, I'm bringing up, okay, good, making sure Leah has something for me. I'll be showing a video as soon as I'm done praying. But anyway, what I see for us is the ability to do this in a way that uplifts others. You want to make sure that your dreams and your visions happen lickety-split. Make sure it's the highest expression that serves everyone too. Not just for you, but for all. And then the universe says, woo, I love that. Much more energy comes flying in when you're doing something in service to others, as well as yourself, obviously, rather than just for me. It's just a higher elevation, higher frequency, quicker actuality. So I hope you took something out of that. Let's go into prayer, and let's just end it with a nice little spiritual mind treatment, which is our affirmative prayer. And if there were any prayer requests, I hope you typed them. I don't see any, but I know that there are some devastating fires going on in California. We'll definitely hold that in our space. So as we go within, just take a moment and breathe, knowing that there is an infinite field of pure potentiality right here, right where we are. We are not ever separate from the infinite. Some call it God, some call it the universe, some call it the divine, some say spirit, whatever name you have for this presence, this omniscient, that's all-knowing, omnipotent, that's all-powerful being, we know that it is everywhere present. And it is in each and every one of us, as each and every one of us, just showing up in our lives, differentiating itself as the unique expression that is you. You shall never be created exactly the same way. We each have such a beautiful, unique blend of personality, flair, of intrigue, a little silliness. We've got such a special blend that can never be repeated. And so I just speak my word for each and every one of us that we're stepping into the even higher versions of ourselves, that we create this environment around ourselves that's conducive to growing bigger and better and more available to spirit, so that we can embody more of the infinite supply. We can never get bigger than God, but we can get as big as we can in service to the divine potentialities of love, unlimited love, wealth, health, wholeness, happiness, joy, beauty, peace, all of the highest vibrations. That is our birthright. And we just step right into it. Anything that has been unlike that in our lives in the past, well, it's just dissolving into the nothingness. It's not rooted in any truth with a capital T. What is the truth? We are free. We are loving. We are whole. We are perfect. We are complete just the way we are. And I speak my word that right now in the LA area, that there are just untold moments of helping and of loving assistance as these natural disasters do what they do, that it only brings out the highest and best in the communities, and they're supporting each other in ways that we haven't even seen before. And I just know that what comes out of this is just higher awareness, higher dexterity when it comes to dealing with these new weather events. I just know that it's all unfolding for our highest good, which makes me super grateful. I'm so grateful to be able to witness this unfolding even now. And so all I must do is just release my words into the law, knowing that just like I plant a seed and pat the dirt on top of it, I know it is done. And I know it is already begun. And I just sit back and watch how it outpictures in our lives. So I release my word into this law. I let it go. I let it be. And I say, Ashe, Amen, and so it is. And I will play, hold on, don't play yet. I will share my screen with you. 1 second. And I'm ready.
I will walk the way, love will guide the way. I will walk the way, love will guide the way. I will walk the way, love will guide the way. I will walk the way, love will guide the way. I will walk the way, love will guide the way. Love guides the way. I will walk the way, love guides the way. Love guides the way.
All right, that is beautiful. Thank you, Reverend Charlene, for the wonderful message. You said something I can't wait to share in Pearls that really just resonated with me. If you don't know what Pearls is, hang in there, stay tuned. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But now is the time that we bless the donations that are given to us at CSL Leesburg. And let me tell you a little bit about what we do with that money. So we heard in our opening video that we believe in the law of circulation. As we give, so shall we receive. The donations that you give to us not only help us do what we do when we bring these messages and music and meditation to you on Sundays, but it also goes to our home organization, CSL, and also to other organizations that are sometimes local, sometimes national, sometimes global, but organizations that are supporting our same mission, helping to create a world that works for everyone. There are so many ways that you can give. It's easy to find something that works for you, and odds are you've already found something. We thank you so much for your donations. Let's go and bless our gifts. Please join me in saying the words that appear on the screen. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. All right. So for those of you who were able to join us last Sunday after service, you worked on a vision board. Perhaps you need a little more time. For those of you who weren't available, unable to join us last Sunday, guess what? We made space for you. So we're having another session, and it will be today after our service, starting at 1 o'clock, going to about 3 o'clock p.m. And Charlene will guide you through how to make a vision board or a mind movie. So have a little light lunch if that's in your time zone, and then join us at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for our visioning board workshop. Also, on alternating Saturdays at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Charlene and her friends do their dream study. So the next one will be January 25th. Join Charlene and her friends as they share their dreams and help each other interpret their dreams. And that will be the next one, January 25th at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, folks, that's all we have for you today. Before we do our closing affirmation, remember what I mentioned, Pearls? So Pearls is where we hang around after service, kind of our coffee hour, and we share anything that really resonated with us during the message, during the music, during the meditation, and we just kind of catch up with each other. Gosh, sometimes I learn about wonderful books that people are reading. Sometimes I learn about new TV shows I want to check out or movies. Sometimes we just kind of talk about the weather or what's happening in our lives. So we do that after service, and we call those Pearls. And Charlene, I can't wait to share something that you said that really resonated with me. You inspired me yet again, girlfriend. So that's what we do after service. If you can't stay, please know that we will send you off with our love and blessings. But first, let's do our closing affirmation. Are you ready? Now, unmute if you can. You know I love to hear this. So here we go. I am love.
I am love.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, that makes me happy all the way down to my toes. All right, next, we know that everything's connected. So there might be somebody in the room with you, a friend, a family, or a furry companion. There might be someone that you know needs this message, and they don't have to be in the same place as you are. We know that we can send these messages out. So come up with someone who needs this message right now, and let's send it out to them. Ready? You are loved.
You are loved.
You are love.
Woo, that
Bam.
was there was an exclamation point there. I heard that. And now let's put our hands up in the air, reminding ourselves that it's all love, something we call love sprinkles. Here we go. You ready? It's all love.
All love.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please stay if you can. I've given you enough teasers. I can't wait to share in Pearls. And if you have to go, please know that we send you off with our love and with our blessings. Have a great day.